What is up, guys? Spear Gaming here. Today we're going to be breaking down exactly how you can get the Arbalest Exotic Linear Fusion Rifle. This is a brand new weapon releasing with the Revelry live event, and it's going to be exotic weapon available only during this event, and afterwards it's actually going to be added into the random loot pool, but you do have an opportunity in order to get it during this event. So we're going to break down exactly what you want to do to get your hands on it. If you guys enjoy this video, if you find it helpful, please do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications, and let's get into it. Alright, so as I mentioned before, this exotic linear fusion rifle will be available to be picked up during the Revelry event, which is starting today on April the 16th, running all the way up until May the 7th. So we have a few weeks to grind if you're wanting to get this weapon. But before we go into how to get it, we're going to actually take a look at it in depth and look at all of the perks and stats on this gun to determine what exactly this thing is going to be like. So if we go ahead and go to collections, this thing has actually been visible in the game since Season 6 has started, Joker's Wild. Now if we go ahead and look at it, we can see it's a 533 charge time, 5 in the magazine, linear fusion rifle. This is going to be very comparable to the Crooked Fang if you guys are wanting to know how it feels. Now the exotic perk here is Compounding Force, fires slugs that cause massive damage to elemental shields of enemy combatants. We also have Extended Barrel, Projection Fuse, and Disruption Break, and I think that's going to be pretty much the combination factor as to where this weapon can be rather interesting. So basically it's going to fire slug rounds into enemy shields, and when you break them you also deal additional damage for kinetic weapons. This is a kinetic linear fusion rifle. This is the first of its kind, so if you pop a shield with this weapon and then you go ahead and continue doing damage with it, it's going to be actually pretty devastating. So how devastating, we'll have to wait and see once people get their hands on this gun and people do some more testing, but you guys can be sure I'll be doing a review on it as soon as I get my hands on it. Overall, this weapon does sound really interesting to me. I think that if the damage is as massive as they make it sound like for PvE, I could see a lot of people running this over, different shotguns and stuff to pop enemy shields. I think it definitely could have a place depending on how strong the weapon is. Now, when it comes to Crucible, I think the weapon may be a little bit disappointing, but it all depends on that damage amount, because if you're popping enemy shields, the thing I think of is when it comes to Crucible, think about supers, like somebody in their super, depending on how much damage it can do when it pops their shield and then you hit them again. Maybe it's a one shot, maybe a two shot when someone's in their super. We don't know, we won't know until the gun comes out, like I said, but it definitely has some potential to be really good in both Crucible as well as PvE. Alright, so now that we know what the weapon is, let's go ahead and get into how we can actually earn it. So this weapon will be able to be purchased from the event vendor Eva Levante. So once the weekly reset happens, you want to go to the tower, find Eva Levante, talk to her. She's going to give you some sort of introductory quest as to how the Revelry will work. Now once you complete this quest, it's going to have you go into the Verdant Forest, which is on Mercury. It's going to be very similar to how the Haunted Forest was back in Festival of the Lost. But once you complete this introductory quest, you'll return back to the tower to talk to her, and you'll actually unlock all of the bounties that you can then complete. And completing Revelry bounties is going to actually give you a currency called Reveler's Essence. The more essence you have, the more things you can purchase from her inventory, and one of these items is actually going to be the Arbalest. The Arbalest is going to cost 300 Reveler's Essence, so the easiest way to get it is once the event takes off, you're going to want to complete as many daily bounties as you can, as well as your weekly bounties. The daily bounties are going to grant you 25 essence, but the weekly ones I'm not sure yet, we'll have to wait and see. So if you do daily bounties and weekly bounties and you run out of stuff to do to try to get more essence, you will also be able to get essence from completing triumphs. So I would suggest if you're trying to grind for this weapon as soon as it launches, complete your dailies, complete your weeklies, and go for triumphs if you're trying to grind to get this gun. Overall, all the bounties are not too difficult to complete. Most of them just involve getting a certain amount of kills, defeat enemies in the Verdant Forest, defeat bosses in the Verdant Forest, or generating orbs in the Verdant Forest. Most of these are going to involve the Verdant Forest, but I believe there will be some bounties that are not in the Verdant Forest, so you have a few Crucible or Strikes or Public Events bounties in there as well. So overall, basic stuff when it comes to the bounties. The triumphs we'll have to see and wait. Some of the triumphs might be rather difficult, but just remember you just need 300 Reveler's Essence in order to pick up the Arbalest. Be sure to let me know your guys' thoughts on the Arbalest and the Revelry event down in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to hear your guys' feedback on this event, as it's something new we haven't seen in Destiny so far. Just a quick reminder, the weapon will be added to the random loot pool, so if you don't feel like grinding for it, it will be added for RNG exotics after the event is over. But because we have such a long time to do it, I would strongly suggest you might as well go in the Verdant Forest, try it out, and get your hands on a brand new exotic. But that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful or useful at all, be sure to do me a favor and smash the like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe if you're new. That's it for me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.